Hi guys, back with another video. Today is something completely different. I have fallen down the fountain pen rabbit hole, as you can tell by the title. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be very informative because I don't have too much knowledge on fountain pens. This is going to be more so my initial thoughts of fountain pens since I am new and I feel like I've been seeing it all over, although I've probably been seeing it all over because of the algorithm and it knows what I'm searching for. But anyways, if you want to hear my thoughts on fountain pens, then just keep on watching. So this is attempt number 2 at filming this. The first time that I filmed it, we were riding the Hot Mess Express because I hadn't gathered my thoughts. I have officially gathered my thoughts and now I can go step by step instead of jumping back and forth. I didn't know what fountain pens were. Well, okay, I knew what they were. So growing up, we had a junk drawer, as everybody does in their house, and there was a fountain pen in there, and this was like elementary school. And when I had looked at it and then I opened it, I was like, this is a really ugly pen. Like, why would anybody want to use this? Never grabbed it. And then one day it disappeared. So that's when I saw my very first fountain pen. Was elementary school. And then I remember seeing Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. talk about fountain pens. I'd watched her videos and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That was that. I just kind of watched them. And then I saw this girl. She's actually a local girl, but she's not living in Hawaii right now. But I saw her posting videos about her fountain pen. She was actually posting her writing, and I was like, that is amazing. I love the way that pen looks. Her handwriting looks amazing. She has great penmanship. I will leave her handle down below. So yeah, her name is, I'm gonna say it's Brianna because of the way that it's spelled. My friend's name is Brianna. She's got one N. She has two N's. So I'm going to say her name is Brianna. I could be totally wrong. I butcher things all the time. And it's funny because I could tell she was a local girl by the way that she wrote. I don't know what it is, but a lot of local girls, they have a lot of same characteristics in their writing. She is actually the one that made me want a fountain pen because of one of her videos that she was writing, and her video was so up close that it made it even more amazing. So that's how I got into fountain. Okay, I forgot where I left off because Ryder walked in here. It's actually currently 10:30 at night as I'm filming this. That being said, I went in blind when I purchased my first one. I didn't do any research. I was watching YouTube videos, but it wasn't informative videos. It was more so videos of people's collections, which they would usually recommend like a pen, and I was watching ink swatching videos, but I never clicked on one of those videos. It's like, what fountain pen should you start off with, or top 10 cheap pens, or if you're a beginner, start here. I didn't even click on those. I went in complete. So I ended up just buying what I thought looked pretty. I mean, I did buy this one off of recommendations. This one was actually recommended a lot by people. This is the TWSBI. I don't even think I initially purchased ones that were like, oh, if you're a beginner, buy these pens. I didn't do that except for this one. So let's go into the pens that I did buy. So I started off, Ryder's now playing the VR. I told him he has to play a silent game. So if he starts to get loud, I apologize. I didn't expect him to come out here and start wanting to play, especially at 10:30 at night because I thought he was going to go to sleep. Let's jump in. The first pen that I placed an order for was the TWSBI, but I wanted to be extra and I bought the one that was rose gold, and that was more expensive. So this one is that limited edition. It's got the rose gold on it. I purchased it in a fine nib, which is that thing right here. Okay, if you're coming here for knowledge and information, this is not the place. This is literally just me talking about what I purchased and my initial thoughts. I have no knowledge of fountain pens. I don't even know how to clean this thing yet. I barely knew how to fill this thing. So yeah, if you're looking for knowledge, not the right place. What was I saying? So yeah, I went in and I couldn't just get the regular old TWSBI. I had to get the rose gold. So I believe this one was $52.50. I purchased it in the fine nib. I knew nothing about nibs. So I was like, fine nib, okay, cool. What I have learned is that different makers, their nibs are different. But anyway, purchased the fine nib and I was like, oh wait, it needs ink. So I just typed in black ink and was looking at kind of the swatches and trying to find one that was on the darker side, and this one popped up and it was pretty cheap, so I was like, okay, cool. Kaweco in a pearl black, and I put that in this pen and it works fine. So yeah, this was my very first purchase, although I will say I purchased this, oh, did I say I purchased it from Jet Pens? I got it from Jet Pens and I was impatient, and I think a day later, oh my gosh, I can't wait for that one to come in. I'm gonna get one on Amazon because Amazon shipping is super quick. And so a day after, I believe it was, I went on Amazon and I purchased this pen. When I saw Brianna's video, she was using a Pilot pen. She was using the one that had like a flat top and a flat bottom, and when I went to Google that, I was like, oh, those pens are close to $300, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy a $300 pen. So I went on Amazon and I typed in, like, not Pilot, did I say Pilot? I meant Sailor. I typed in Sailor fountain pen and this one popped up, and I was like, ooh, that's pretty. It says Sailor. I have no idea. I didn't know any model names or whatever. I was literally going off of the color. The color was really pretty, and so I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get this one. I believe, I don't remember what size nib this is. I do have it written down, so I'll bring that out after and show you, like, I guess swatches or pen test. I don't know what they're called. It's either a medium or it's a fine nib. But anyways, I bought it strictly because it was pretty and it was a Sailor pen, the same brand that she was using. I learned later she actually got her pen for, actually I don't remember, less than $100 though. Spoiler alert, this is my favorite pen out of these three. In this pen, it has a cartridge, the one that it came with. I believe I also bought a converter because the converters, you can then use inks with it, if I'm not mistaken. These ended up coming in the mail on the same day, so I mean, I didn't get this one any quicker than I got this one. After I was playing around with these, I was like, I need another pen. And because I had been searching fountain pens left and right all day, every day, I had all of these Instagram ads popping up on my feed. And that's when I saw this pen right here. This is an Esterbrook SD in Petrified Forest. It looks a lot deeper on camera. I don't think, let me see if I can get it to focus close. It is a lot deeper on camera. Okay, maybe not a lot deeper, but it is definitely deeper on camera than it is in person. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous pen. Is it gonna refocus? All right, so when I hold it farther away, it definitely looks a lot deeper than up close. But anyways, this is an Esterbrook SD. It's in a fine nib. I bought this strictly because I thought this pen was gorgeous. I love these like corally colors. Again, it looks deeper on camera. It's like an orange corally color. I bought this strictly because it was beautiful. I had seen people post videos about Esterbrook SDs. I've seen these big collections. This pen is not cheap. I believe, oh, I got this on Jet Pens and I think it was $175. I don't know if they sell them cheaper anywhere else, but it was $175. So along with that, I was like, well, I don't want to put the black ink that I have in there already, so I have to buy another ink. And I had seen a swatch of this on somebody's channel. This is the Diamine, I think that's how you say it, saddle brown. And I didn't want to buy, like, I feel like people usually put inks in the pen that matches the color of the pen. I wasn't gonna put an orange. I don't care for like an orangey, I mean, I could have put a coral, but I wanted something I knew I would use right away, and I love a brown ink, so I put this saddle brown color in here, and I love the way it looks. So those are the three pens that I purchased. Let me show you what the pens look like. This is my very first like pen swatches that I did once I got the first two. Again, they came in on the same day. This one is the Sailor Cherry Blossom in, oh, it is fine point, and then I do have the cartridge in there. So this line right here, and I believe everything up above, I think it is, and then everything down below is from the TWSBI. If I were to get it, or I do want to get another TWSBI, this is in the fine, right? I didn't even write if it was fine. I believe it's the fine. If I were to get another TWSBI, I would want to try the extra fine. This is a little bit too thick for my liking. I still do write with it. It is still really pretty. So I mean, I do really like this pen. So those are the two like first swatches that I did with the first two pens. Moving on to the Esterbrook SD. Here is the first swatches that I did with that pen. This one, like, I literally just started writing in. After that, the ink started flowing a lot better. I really love this color. Again, Diamine saddle brown. I don't know, it's just like, I'm not very good at describing colors, but I really do like how that turned out. Let's see, I can do pen swatches. I will do that when I talk about like my very initial thoughts, because I'll write with it. Since then, oh, let me share with you my little pen holder that I made. So I had these like on my desk, and they kept like, I kept knocking them, and they kept like rolling around and making noise. And so I made this little fan holder. This is out of like thicker cardstock paper, and I just folded it like a fan, and I have just been resting my pens in here. Eventually I will get a real like something to put them in, especially with my now growing collection, but for now this will do. It just sits on my desk and I can use it when I want to. Since purchasing these three, I have made additional purchases because let's talk about mental health. So when my mental health goes downhill, I turn to retail therapy, which is horrible, but that's what I end up doing. And I really do hate that I do that, and I have controlled it before, but sometimes I just can't control it. The universe said, let's coincide her finding the world of fountain pens with her downhill roller coaster and retail therapy, and we're gonna combine the two. We're gonna crash them together. And so I have a few cheaper pens coming. I have an expensive pen coming. That's that. We'll see how I like those. I'm excited for the cheaper pens because I want to see if, you know, cheaper or expensive pens are really better than the cheaper pens, which I don't think that matters. I have a few pens coming. I have ink samples coming, and we'll see. Maybe there'll be an updated video of the new pens that I get. I don't know, but let's talk about initial thoughts. I am going to zoom in and bring out a blank paper. Let's talk my very initial thoughts. I actually wrote with this one first before the TWSBI because I was more excited about this pretty pink pen. My initial thoughts was, I hate these pens. Like, what did I get myself into? Why did I choose to buy these pens? What was happening? It was hard to write with. My wrist was getting sore. The ink wasn't really flowing nicely, and that's probably because I didn't watch any videos, like informative videos. I didn't really know, and I regretted all of my pen choices, and I was like, this isn't gonna work, especially if my hand's gonna hurt. I don't want anything to do with it. Well, let's chit chat. I know you can write both with this up. I believe this is where the ink comes out of. Again, I don't know too much about them. A lot of people write with it down this way. I'm gonna call it the traditional or the proper way to hold a pen is with your pointer fingers, right? That's like the traditional way. I don't hold my pen like this, but when you hold your pen like this, this is flat here. Like I can't write. That's my handwriting when I hold the pen like this, because I'm not used to that. I don't hold my pen. So when you hold your pen with the pointer and the thumb like that, I'm assuming that's why people hold it with this up and down this way, and the ink flows really well actually. Well, I hold my pen like this. My dad used to tease me. This is how I hold my pen. And so when I was holding it, I was also trying to angle this like straight down, and I was also having a hard time because I initially thought that this had to be this way. So I was having a hard time, and that's why I thought, oh, this sucks. What did I get myself into? I'm having a hard time writing nicely. And yeah, I was just struggling. That one came out okay. So I decided to go back to Brianna's video because she had that close-up writing, and when I really looked at it, she holds her pen pretty similar to me. When I was watching closely, so she holds her pen and she writes this way like I do. And she had this piece, I don't know what this piece is called, I'm sorry, but she had it pointing this way. Instead of up and down this way, she had it pointing this way. And when I tested that out, the whole game changed, and and I learned that I absolutely love this pen, and holding it this way actually makes sense because of the way that I hold my pen. It goes this way, whereas people that hold their pen this way, their pen goes this way. So I never did think to switch the way that this is angled because I hold my pen this way. Because, well, I mean, I guess if you hold your pen this way and write this way, you would hold it this way, but I feel like most people hold it this way, right? Okay, now I feel like I haven't paid attention to many people holding their pens. But anyway, that was the game changer right there, is holding it this way and making sure this was pointing this way, and now everything just flows so much better. I have no issues, and this realization, I guess not realization, yeah, I guess a realization made me absolutely love this fountain pen. So initial thoughts, I hated it, didn't want anything to do with it. Then my second thoughts is I love it. I love it because generally I grip my pens very, very hard when I'm writing, and so with a fountain pen, because it's so inky, I don't have to grip the pen as hard and everything just flows. That is one of my favorite things, is not having to grip this pen very hard, and nothing is skipping with this pen anyway. And I ended up writing a whole A5 journal with this fountain pen actually, and my hand was not sore at all. I wrote the entire thing, and that is crazy. I wrote this with a gel pen, all of these notes, and my hand was hurting halfway through because, like I said, I grip my pen really hard. I wrote a whole A5 page with this pen. Hand was not sore at all. I am a huge fan of fountain pens. So that's that one. The TWSBI Eco, again, I hold it the exact same way, making sure that this part, I don't know what it's called, is facing that way. This one is a lot inkier. I don't know if this is a Japanese pen or whatever. I haven't looked up any of that. So as you can see, this one's a lot inkier than the Pilot, not the Pilot, I keep calling it a Pilot, the Sailor pen. And then the Esterbrook SD, this is a extra fine nib. I think if I'm going to purchase another one, I will be purchasing a fine nib because I do like this pen. And I don't know the correct terms. It's like you can hear it writing. And I don't know if putting a different ink in here makes the pen flow a little bit more. I have no idea actually, but this is how this one writes. I love the color, and I do enjoy writing this with this pen also. This works really good in the Hobonichi. This is actually Hobonichi because, I don't know, I just feel like when I write with this pen, everything fits in the lines really pretty. But I do think I would want to try a fine nib if I do purchase another Esterbrook SD. So that is that. I don't know how to change my inks yet, so I'm not going to be doing that. I really loaded up this one, and I'm pretty sure inks last a while in here. So yeah, I don't know when I'll end up having to change the inks in that. I will say though, they were great on the Hobonichi paper, Tomoe River paper. I just pulled this from the trash because this is the one I used earlier. Let me show you what these pens write. This is my insert paper. They not feather because they don't really feather, but it's a lot more inkier on like computer paper, which I assumed. And I feel like the pens are a little bit more grabby, but probably because the Tomoe River paper is so smooth. So that was the Sailor. Watch the TWSBI when I write. How much ink goes down. That is like a 1 in like a gel pen, super thick. This is something that I would not use on insert paper unless I'm like, I don't know, making a sign or something. So I think they do work a lot better on smoother paper. But see, like this, I wouldn't mind using that on my inserts. Even, you know what, even the Sailor one, the TWSBI though, that is pretty thick for what I prefer. So yeah, that is my insert paper. I will have these pens linked down below. The ones for the Amazon, it will be in my Amazon storefront, which if you do purchase something off of there, I do make a small commission off of that. Are we blurry? I don't think we're blurry. Did it? zoom out and not get blurry? I think it did. That is all of those thoughts. I posted fountain pens on my Instagram and I felt like they got a lot of comments. Somebody had asked what I recommend, and I am not going to recommend anything. Reason is I've only tried these 3 pens. Another reason, I have no knowledge of fountain pens. You know, I would only be able to compare these 3 pens. Like I mentioned, I do have other ones coming to me. I feel like I could make recommendations once I've tried a good handful of pens, but because I've only tried these 3, I don't have a recommendation, because I would hate to recommend something and somebody be like, well, that's not a good pen to recommend because this, and this. Maybe in the future I could recommend after I try some different brands, different nibs, and maybe when I gain some more knowledge. What I will say though is between these 3 pens, this Sailor is my favorite, not because of color. I mean, I do absolutely love the color, but I do find that this one writes the smoothest. And this was the most expensive one, so that just goes to show you that expensive isn't always better. This Sailor, it's in the cherry blossom. It has a number. I really don't know. Found it on Amazon. I'm hoping this is even a real Sailor pen. It says Sailor on this band right here, Sailor Japan. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm sorry I can't recommend something if that's what you're coming here for. That is it for this video. I really just wanted to share my initial thoughts of fountain pens. Yeah, just have something different on my channel instead of just the planner content. I don't want to turn this into a fountain pen channel by any means, but you know, this is part of my planner world, so I thought I would share. But I think my #1 favorite thing about fountain pens is the ease of writing and not having to grip my pen as hard as I would a gel pen or any other pen for that matter. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you always so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye guys.